So basically it's a story about the last Viceroy, Lord Mountbatten, coming to India and the responsibility of giving India back to its people, and also to divide into India and Pakistan. And at that point in time, in his household where all these big decisions were taken, there's a love story happening between a Muslim translator played by me to the last Mountbatten and his Hindu valet. And as you're aware, the country was divided on religious lines between Hindus and Muslims.
It's subject of partition. The events leading up to the greatest mass migration in modern history, almost 14 billion people were displaced from their homes, forced migration. Close to 2 million people died. So it's a huge part of Indian history, and it's relatively untold on screen, and that's what our movie aims to do.
It's not often that we get to tell our own history, our shared history in terms of Britain, India and Pakistan in our own words. So for me to be able to tell that story, shine a light on those events of 1947, it is tremendous. I never imagined I would be able to do that growing up, that's for sure.
Grinda and I worked on the script for 7 years. It's a film she's wanted to make her whole life. And I'm really proud of her that she got to make the film she wanted to make. And the whole point was to try to make a human film where the downstairs characters are just as important as the politicians upstairs.
Having an upstairs, downstairs kind of setup where you've got the lovers, these beautiful kids who are the lovers, and their love story, and they're not supposed, they're both different cultures, but they fall in love. And then upstairs you've got the politicians carving up India and doing what they did. You kind of see it through the eyes of the servants, which is an interesting way of doing it.
It's looking at this big political problem from a very human point of view. It's not easy to be the victor or the loser in a situation like this. And if you look at migration and forced migration of people, and you start empathizing with them, I think that's something to take back home from this story.
Each character represents a different perspective on partition. You have the Bengali perspective, the Muslim perspective, the Hindu perspective, which is my character. So we did, Gurinder did her, I think, a fantastic job at explaining what partition meant to each group. The way she told the story, from the political decisions happening upstairs and how that affects the servants downstairs, that's the life inside the Viceroy House really sort of illuminates everyone, this idea of division and how it affects each person.
When you divide people and you define people by their religion or their ethnicity, it's going to lead to problems. If you're going to erect walls and borders and talk about the politics of hate and division, ultimately that's going to lead to enormous problems.
Because the film's about coexistence, and especially now with globalization, can we coexist with one another, with all our different communities? So it's about how can we accommodate and work with each other and compromise.